Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Geek Channel, another video, and this is episode 8 of the Criterion Corner series, and welcome back. So today we're going to talk about a different kind of film. This is a more like a B type movie scenario. This is not like a drama like Boyhood or The Alpha Man with great camera techniques and beautiful direction or beautiful performance. This is a story that can be really wacky but fun, and this is more like a genre type of film. This is sci-fi, and I love seeing some more genre bending into the Criterion Collection um, catalog titles. We got some horror films, for example, the Night of the Living Dead, which was in the Criterion Collection. You got some Guillermo del Toro film like Pan's Labyrinth. It's more like a fantasy type horror, but they're all part of the Criterion Collection catalog titles, which is amazing to see um, how diverse many titles that we see. And the film we talk about is The War of the Worlds. This is spy number 1037, and this is my first time watch from the original. Now, experiencing this film for the first time, going in cold, I'd never seen this movie, but prior to seeing this movie, the World of World adaptation that I've seen is the live action. Well, obviously it's live action. The Steven Spielberg version of War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. That's the one I grew up watching, and that's the only one that is my knowledge about the World of Worlds. I never heard that there was the original 1953 version of the War World, or there's a TV series which I never heard, or the radio play which I never heard. The only adaptation I watched is the Steven Spielberg version, and I very much like that version. I actually, well, it's my go-to version because I've seen that movie multiple times. Now, in a few years back, I watched Blu-ray again, and I actually it's still a fine, decent film. It's not great, but I really enjoyed it. But I never knew there was an original film. I only thought that the only adaptation of the World of Worlds. And I didn't know that was a thing in the radio play. So that's my going in watching the World of the Worlds. It's mouthful if you say that title because it's two W's. The War of the Worlds. There you go. um, yeah, when Criterion was announced this, I'm like, ooh, is this the original version? On the 50s version? I was like, yep, take my money. Because, first off, love that cover. It's very comic booky. And it fits the vibe of the film. And then when I got it on doing the 50% off sale, I was like, this is what the first thing I'm going to watch. And I gotta say, I prefer this over the Steven Spielberg version, even though I've seen the Steven Spielberg version many times. When I grew up and recently, I really enjoy more of this film more than the Steven Spielberg adaptation. I think the main reason that they had, I think the main reason I really like this movie over the Steven Spielberg version of it is that this had more entertaining value. There's some charm to it. Something about this film just feels right. I just love. I mean, yes, there can be some special effects that can be outdated, but what makes this film so great is the story. They make so sense of urgency. There's a sense of urgency going on to the film, when the two main leads, they're a couple, trying to figure out the way to survive, by this alien spaceship. I love it. I just love seeing that, going in, watching that how different from it is from the Steven Spielberg version. The Steven Spielberg version was the father and daughter dynamic. This is more of a, let's try to find how to survive it, but at the same time how to stop this alien spaceship, how to stop it. That's the whole idea premise, and I had a great time. This is the perfect film to watch in the summer because it feels like a summer movie, even though there's no big special effects or anything like that. There's some practical effects. that are phenomenal to watch. I just love that so much. It had that charm to it, and I really did enjoy this because it's a B movie, but that's just some that was so special about it. It's just so much fun to watch, and I love the fact that Cartoon Collection released this film. That this is part of the Criterion Collection, which is kind of shocking to me because there's nothing too spectacular like Boyhood or 12 Angry Men, any like that. This is different. This is a very different type of film, and I really like the fact that this is part of the Criterion Collection. I mean, this is probably gonna be a short review, but all I can say that I had so much fun watching this film. How different from the Steven Spielberg version. I mean, obviously, when you get the Steven Spielberg version of the film, you get this high um, production value going on. This is the 50s, by the way. This is the 50s. There's a different type of production going on when we got the Steven Spielberg version of it. And I love that because they tells the story at a very small scale. They take place in a small town and focusing on the characters trying to survive, yet trying to stop this, the invasion, basically, and focusing on this group of individuals, these two main leads. They're focusing on a smaller scale. Rather, it is a bigger scale. There's a sense of urgency, but focusing on a smaller scale, which I like that a lot because the Spielberg version it tells in a bigger scale, like an epic story, if you will. When we see Tom Cruise being like Tom Cruise going on a journey to trying to protect his daughter from this alien invasion. And here we got this, like an everyday average human beings in a small town. Which I like that change. Which I like that going in watching this movie and how different it is. It is released by Paramount, so it was released. The Steven Spielberg version of it was released by Paramount as well. So you can tell it that they both are completely different films, and I like that very much. That they didn't copy from the original 53 version and remake it. They did something on its own, which I like. But this one is I just love it because it had that charm to it, that good old 50s sci-fi B movies that we don't see much today. Obviously, in today's standards, we see like really high production sci-fi films. Something about this film just scream my kind of movie. Like I really enjoy this movie, and especially in the climax of this movie, I was there were a lot of moments. The main dude, I forgot the name, is you know is up there in my brain. The main dude who trying to find his friend is who's happened to be a girl. He's all alone. He's trying to look for her, and you can see all in the background. It's all damaged. Because of the invasion that happened, it's all had the sense of desolation and the isolation, yet the sense of pending doom. And there's something about that scene. He's just all him by himself, lost. It's just I was in awe. I was very engaged by that story. I really do enjoy that aspect, and like everybody, other human beings in this movie feel like they're just giving up because there's no way to stop these things, and I love that. That's so much better than the Spielberg version because the Spielberg version it just happens, like oh we're trying to survive and nothing. There is a sense of urgency, but there's no human emotion going on, with the exception of Tom Cruise and his daughter, and that's it. Here, there's a group of individual human beings like losing all hope, and I really like that aspect of the film. That they're 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 facing the fact that this is kind of the end of the world, the war of the worlds. But I like that a lot because there's human character, there's human emotions, there's a sense of urgency, and there's a sense of cathartic um, moment in the film that this is a reality now. And yes, like in the beginning of the film, it's very cheesy and B movie like, but there's a shift going on in the second act and the third act that they went completely different direction, then then I thought as an audience when you're watching this movie for the very first time that it's gonna be you expect to be a cheesy fun time, but no, they went to the opposite route, which I liked. And there's some great moments in the film in the beginning, especially in the beginning of the film, that they're setting up the characters, and there's some light-hearted moments, some good funny jokes here and there that I really enjoy. That you're kind of establishing what the small town is, and then when these three gentlemen discover this crash landing, discover this spaceship. Basically, it's this scene right here. But in the pamphlet, booklet, whatever you want to call it. Um, like, yep, that's where the tone shift goes, and yeah, I really like that because I thought, oh, it can be a very cheesy movie. I'm like the cover screams, very B movie, very cheesy. I thought gonna go with cheesy route, but no, they went to the opposite route from the second act and the third act, which shocked me, and that actually kind of breathed a fresh air for me. You know, go to the opposite route, and I really like that aspect of the film. And I mean, there's more I can say, but I can say enough in here that overall I really enjoy this film. This is a fantastic, fun time. Basically, just sit down and enjoy the ride, and just enjoy this amazing practical effects. Yeah, there's some good story here and great character element in the film that I really enjoy watching and see the journey that it goes through. Really enjoyed it. And I honestly, after watching this movie for the very first time, I actually prefer this over the Tom Cruise version. I mean, I know, but it can do a like great double bill between this film and the Tom Cruise version. I mean, yeah, I mean, I own it, and yeah, I'm happy to own this, but like, I prefer this over this. But I can see myself watching it as a double feature in the future, because they can do a great double bill one day in the future if I'm in the mood of rewatching them. But obviously, this film had more production budget, higher budget, if you will, than the original. But they're both best of both worlds, basically. That you have both different versions of the War of the Worlds, which is very cool to see. And this is a great release, beautiful transfer. This is a really colorful film, and it looks beautiful on Blu-ray. I love the practical effects, the sound design, the audio basically is awesome because they use a lot of sound design in this film. And I like the fact how the ending felt abrupt, but at the same time, it's perfect way to end this film. It was natural the way to end the film. Like the War of the World, that ended kind of a cheesy note, but here it ended like a very ominous kind of note, which I liked a lot more than the War of the World, the Steven Spielberg version of it. I prefer this ending, which is, you know, very ominous tone, and I like that a lot. But not only you give a great picture and audio, but the special features are excellent. Especially there's a 2005 documentary called "The Sky Is Falling" about the making of the film. But not only that, you get a bonus basically, the Mercury Theater on the Air radio play of the War of the Worlds from 1930 adaptation from Howard Cox, directed and narrated by Orson Welles. That was the one that was being controversial back in the day, where all the people like us were panicking about that, and it was turned out to be all fake. It was just a story, and it was narrated by Orson Welles. I need to listen to that. I haven't not got a chance to listen to that, but it was so cool they added the radio play as a bonus in this Criterion. So you're basically getting a price of admission. You're paying two for one, basically for one price, which is great. And we have a radio program from 1940 featuring discussion between Orson Welles, and H.G. Wells, which is pretty cool about the author of the story, talking about the story. I need to listen to that as well. So basically, you get great content plus an essay. There's an audio commentary. There's movie archaeology about the program, visual and sound effects, and yeah. you know, great stuff. You get the radio play. You get the interview between Orson Welles and H.G. Wells. I mean, awesome cover. I love this cover so much. When I saw that cover for the first time, when they announced it, I'm like, oh, this is very comic booky, and I'm here for it. And yeah, great film with a great release. That'll do it for today's video of the Criterion Corner series. This is episode 8, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for more content, and have a great one, and take care.